The question of what architecture is has created a dialogue within the architecture community for decades. But is there a single definition that captures the best? Not necessarily. Architects employ their own definitions of architecture based on their experience and background. Therefore, there is no one single definition of architecture. In this video, multiple perspectives will be examined on what defines architecture, be it form, function, theory, education, or a plethora of other factors. This definition is only accurate in the most basic sense. Because it only considers art and science, the flagship components of architecture, it fails to consider the relationship between design and many other factors such as history and culture. While the dictionary does provide a sufficient definition for many outside of architecture looking in, it is not enough for those who practice and theorize. In 25 BC, Vitruvius was one of the first people to propose and record a definition of architecture. He argued that these three tenets of architecture were equally important and required for a good building. By dividing architecture into three codependent branches, he strengthened his point that an architect should be familiar with a multitude of subjects, not just architecture itself. Additionally, Vitruvius saw architecture as, quote, the child of practice and theory, not one or the other. His definition began the concept of architecture as not just one subject, but many subjects that are intertwined, an idea that still holds merit today and is seen in many other definitions. Gordon Smith's 2012 definition of architecture echoes the Vitruvian triad, stating three different supplementary aspects that create architecture itself. The format of Smith's definition argues that Vitruvius's ideas still have value in the 21st century. As an educator, Smith examines what is taught in architecture schools across the country as a basis for his definition. By subdividing architectural education, and thus architecture, into a definition that mirrors Vitruvius's, Smith provides a more successful definition that takes multiple perspectives into account. By contrasting buildings and architecture, Pevsner creates a scale for defining what is architecture and what is not. As a career professor and researcher, Pevsner embodied the theoretical side of architecture. Because he is only concerned with aesthetics in this definition, Pevsner fails to take into account the significance that many ordinary-looking buildings can have on the lives of those who use them. This emphasis on only one aspect of architecture, especially in the complicated and globalized world that we live in, weakens Pevsner's definition. Zaha Hadid did not compromise her concepts or designs for practical constraints or technology. Instead, her swooping, curved, futuristic buildings tended to be structurally intricate. She created landmark projects for all types of functional programs. Her buildings are never bland or mundane, but moreover assertive statements of a particular view, that the world may indeed look different. The Heydar Aliyev Center challenges people to think about architecture in a different way. An architectural historian and urban planner, Kostov understood architecture to be a play with acts and scenes that respond to human life. Architecture wasn't just a series of important and famous buildings, but rather every frame of a movie. It allows people to congregate for different purposes, whether it be socializing or surviving. Buildings now don't solely serve as shelter, but are rather designed with a purpose, and cities have become more complex as more needs emerge.
Property Brown specializes in residential design for new homes, additions, renovations, and historic preservation. The projects range from large additions to simple bathroom remodels. They also focus on green building and eco-friendly interiors. LEED accredited members and trained preservationists are on staff. We are passionate about what we do and pride ourselves on providing thoughtful design, exceptional service, and quality construction to our clients. Brown's practice considers today's economy and the realistic budgets their clients have while still meeting their needs and wants. The Light Pavilion has a particular section of the building that stands out from the rest in order to show its unique qualities. The use of many beams going in every direction clearly displays Wood's goal of individuality within all of his projects. To Christopher A. Kumpush, architect who designed the Light Pavilion, this project, from his perspective, was an extension of drawing, a condensation of thoughts as a material manifestation. Le Corbusier was a man that believed in having a goal and then going straight for it. He would always describe his point as the donkey's way and the way of man. The donkey has an unclear zigzag path, while the man has a goal and goes in a straight line. The man does not go around a boulder. He goes through the problem and continues to move forward. This is similar to the concept of Corbusier's Vol au Savoy. His goal was to create something beautiful, and he was not letting practice stop him from achieving that. The use of concrete along with simplistic lines best embodies Villa Savoy's true beauty. The Guggenheim fulfills both form and function by providing an aesthetically pleasing facade and interior while serving as a museum for the public. The intriguing form of the building lures visitors in to explore the functionality of the space. The definition of architecture is constantly evolving. There will always be a new take on architecture. This is why multiple definitions are necessary to capture the complex characteristics of architecture.